Raqqa is a large and independent country, divided in two by the Shadow Canyon, through which no one dares to pass. Legend has it that only a sun summoner can free the place, but no one believes she exists. Cartographer Alina and her friends assemble a posse that gathers near the canyon to draw a diagram of it. Looking at the dark cloud, Alina recalls her childhood spent in an orphanage after the canyon took her parents. The girl often stood by the map thinking about how she could bypass the dangerous place, but her teacher explained to her that it was impossible. The canyon was surrounded by danger on all sides. From that moment on, Alina began dreaming of finding a safe way through the darkness. Standing at the entrance, Alina's memories returned to the past. At the orphanage, she had a best friend, Mal, whom she protected from the local bullies. Growing up, Mal was no longer afraid of the stronger ones and became a fighter, but his friendship with Alina only grew stronger. Once at the camp together, the friends watch with interest the training of the Grisha mages who participate in the fight against Shadow Canyon. Mal introduces Alina to his friends, from whom the girl learns that the mate has long perceived their relationship as more than friendly. The pair plan to go on an expedition to the canyon together, but Mal gets an outfit on the island of Ketterdam at the distribution. At the same time on Ketterdam, a local guy, Jasper, catches a counterfeiter in a casino. The guy's landlord, Kazbrecker, is also dealing with criminal elements. The petty thief offers him a stolen painting of a canyon. Locked in a room, Kaz meets another criminal girlfriend, Anij. The girl tells her boss about a customer who is willing to pay $1 million to someone willing to cross the canyon and deliver some goods. Kaz realizes that this is a huge risk, but he decides to consider the offer nonetheless. It's not easy for Alina to live in the camp. The Shuhan girl is constantly sent to the back of the queue wherever she is. Trying to help his friend, Mal steals a vase of fruit for her, but he is caught by Zoya, a squaller in the Grisha squad. The enchantress offers to spend the night with the boy, but he escapes, citing that he is not supposed to do that. Mal brings his girlfriend the loot, and the pair talk at length about the canyon. The boy is upset that he won't get to the mysterious place with the group, but he's not going to disobey orders. Kaz and Einij go round all the traders, smugglers, and trackers in the city, hoping to find the safest route, but all say with one voice that there is no such route. An aide reports to Kaz that from an intercepted note, they have learned that a certain Trizin is seeking the services of a Heartrender, a man who can talk to anyone, for the night. Kaz plans to deliver the Heartrender to Trizin, and with his help find out about a shortcut, but the assistant adds that Pekka Rollins also knows about it, who just happens to be visiting his old friend, the owner of a gambling club. Pekka Rollins also demands a Heartrender, and knowing that one works at the Orchid Night House, the thug declares to the owner that he is taking over the establishment. General Kirigan arrives at the camp. The commotion begins and Mal receives orders to prepare for the march to Ketterdam through the canyon. Worried about her friend, Alina recalls their childhood as usual, and to save him from imminent death, the girl hurries to burn important maps of the canyon. And so the cartographers find themselves on a ship to go to the very depths of the dangerous place and recreate the maps. Seeing her friend on deck, Mal orders her to pretend to be sick and stay, but the girl refuses to part with her close friend. The soldiers are instructed and the Grisha begin fanning their sails, expecting to pass quickly through the black fog. Once inside the cloud, the crew almost immediately hears the howls of the Valkyra, the canyon's most dangerous predators. Out of fright, one of the soldiers disrupts their orders and lights a lantern, turning into prey for the monster in the same second. Chaos ensues on the ship as the Valkyrs grab the crew members and carry them far away from the ship. Someone is frightened so badly that he himself jumps off the deck, also saying goodbye to his life. Alina sees one of the monsters raise a Mal up. The girl shoots the Valkyra, but the young man's wound proves too serious, and he bids farewell to his friend until his next life. At that moment, Alina herself falls into the monster's clutches. On the other side of the canyon, General Zlatan's army is lined up on the pier, welcoming the ship. The commander realizes that the ship's being 2 hours late says only one thing, that there is no point in waiting any longer, but suddenly a man appears out of the black fog. The guy is pulled onto the dock, and the general asks to be told about the crew. Pekka Rollins is reported that the Heartrender has been stolen. The girl at this point asks Sprecher to bring her back to Orchid, but Kaz assures the blonde that it is too dangerous for her. Kaz brings the girl to Trizin, and in return for the favor, he asks for a job and to send him to the other side. The old man promises to think about it, but in the meantime he takes the company downstairs, where Alexei Stepanov, a guy who crossed the canyon on foot 3 weeks ago, sits tied to a chair. He managed to tell Trizin that their ship was attacked by the Valkyrs, but an unknown device illuminated everything around them and the monsters disappeared. Alexei cannot tell more about the device, and the old man has to resort to the services of a heartrender. The girl begins to work, and Stepanov begins to speak. He claims that he was saved by the Sun Summoner, who was previously thought to be a mythical character. The sorceress turns out to be Alina. After finishing his interrogation, Trizin gets rid of the guy so no one else will know his secret and offers Kaz to join his expedition to find Alina Starkova. As a teenager, Alina had a chance to be tested and find out that she was a Grisha. But not to be parted from Mal, the girl escaped on test day with him, and the friends spent the day lying in a field. Here they are now also lying on the deck of the ship, and Mal is looking for his friend's hand, but he is picked up and carried away. Ange thinks the plan is too crazy, but Kaz is not about to give up on what he has planned, even if he has to go it alone. Alina is brought to General Kuragin, but she does not understand what is wanted of her. Having recovered, Mal hurries to the general's tent, hoping to save his friend from dangerous experiments. The boy does not make it in time. After running a sharp claw through the girl's bane, Kuragin demonstrates her magical origin, and a beam of fire rises through the walls of the tent into the sky. Pekka Rollins arrives in Kaz's room. He asks the boy to give up the trip and forget about the money, offering to keep him alive in return. The stubborn guy refuses, determined to see it through. At the casino, he finds a woman who was passing through the canyon, and she tells the businessman about the guide who helped her survive. The general orders that Alina be taken to the palace, despite her indignation, and attempts to find Mal. The boy runs after the carriage in which his friend is being taken away, but his sore leg severely slows him down. On the way, Alina's new friends tell her that she is a special Grisha. Only the Sun Summoner can rid the world of Canyon. The wagon stops, the road is blocked. The guards go out to reconnoiter, and the carriage immediately falls into the trap of witch hunters, who are about to exterminate all the Grisha. At the last moment, Alina is saved by Kuragin. The rest of the mages escape or are killed, so the general takes only one girl away. After galloping dozens of kilometers on horseback, Alina asks the general to give her a break and explain what is happening. Kuragin repeats the words of the soldiers, telling the girl that she has been awaited for centuries and now she alone can defeat Shadow Canyon. The girl does not share her enthusiasm and asks to be stripped of her gift so she can return to her loved ones, but the general advises her to accept it, and the pair continue on their way to Kuragin's castle. Kaz drops in on a friend and learns the name of a guide who can lead them through the canyon. Once at his house, Brecker finds Inij there, and he again asks his friend not to give up and go in search of Alina with him. Kuragin brings Alina to the palace, hinting that she is more a prisoner there than a guest. Tears drip from the girl's eyes, but she cannot get out of her confinement. Mal is about to defect and run after Alina, but his friends persuade him not to risk it and to delay a little. Kaz persuades Inij to go with him, and as a pledge for the girl he leaves the landlady's papers for her club. The landlady agrees to the terms, hoping the guy will break them and she will take the casino. Despite the distance, Alina and Mal think of each other, hoping to meet. Alina's morning in her new home begins with a retinue of servants who treat her like a princess and prepare the girl to meet King Peter. At this time, Kaz's carriage arrives at the castle. He plans to kidnap Alina in order to cross the canyon safely, and Nana must help him in this, but hunters break into the witch's room and the girl is kidnapped. Kaz is not ready to stop halfway. After making a list of everything they need, the guide arranges a time when they will set out on their perilous journey. Alina wears a strange costume, and the dressmaker takes her to the king, explaining how she should behave when they meet. The girl tries to find out from her friend whether it is possible to escape from the rich palace, but a general appears on the way out instead of the court attendant, and she has to put aside her thoughts of escape. The general introduces Alina to the king and his wife, promising that the girl will change the future. He casts darkness over the throne room and helps the girl demonstrate her gift and summon the sun. Kuragin promises the king that he will soon train the Sun Summoner and she will be ready to free the canyon. Nana finds herself on a ship among other Grisha prisoners awaiting her trial. The guide leads the travelers into a black cloud of smoke, warning them of the danger. He locks them in a huge iron car, and the company begins their journey. Alina is brought to her first combat training class. The old teacher asks the spellcaster to show what she can do, and the girl, remembering all the lessons Mal gave her, takes to the battlefield, but this is not enough and Zoya defeats her opponent with the first blow. The girl settles into the palace. Finding a large library, she enjoys studying ancient books and meets the spiritual mentor of the king, who helps her understand the legends. Alina's next teacher is an old witch who lives in a cave. She hints to the girl that her talent means nothing without General Kuragin, and she should return after she believes in her own destiny. The conductor's car accelerates, and midway he admits that the rails only go to the middle of the track. Beyond that, they will have to accelerate and jump the span to avoid becoming a victim of the Volcra, but the monster seems to notice the uninvited guests. Over dinner, Alina hears the sad news from the army, and those gathered don't understand why the girl is chilling when she should be training tirelessly to destroy the canyon. The Volcra surround the car, and the guide admits that things aren't going according to plan. Fortunately, the brave Jasper is in the company and destroys the monsters, and the group makes it out of the darkness alive. Mal's squad continues to work, and all the while the boy has not given up hope of finding out the fate of his friend. He tries several times to send a note to the palace, but no one allows him to do so. Unexpectedly, the boy gets a chance. General Kirigan promises to award a visit to the palace to anyone who dares to venture into the dangerous forest and retrieve Morozov's deer. Recognizing Alina's hand in the drawing, Mal does not hesitate for a second. Kirigan invites the spellcaster for a horseback ride, but before that the girl learns that Zoya was kicked out of the palace because of their quarrel in class. The company that have overcome the canyon celebrate their victory in the tavern, but a new adventure awaits them. It is almost impossible to get into the palace without Nina, so they need to find a secret entrance. The general and Alina spend time together in the woods, discussing the legend of how the canyon came to be. The girl admits that she is afraid of failing and incurring the wrath of people, but Kirigan reassures her and promises to stay by her side. Her friends don't leave Mal behind and are going into the woods with him. Unaware of this, Alina admits to her friends that she would feel better if a friend were by her side. The girl is sure that her letters reach her pal, and he will visit her in the palace very soon. Kaz's company sneaks into the city archives to steal the plan of the small palace. Inge almost falls prey to the archivist, but she manages to escape, taking with her a plan of important maps. The soldiers enter the forest and begin searching for the deer, hoping that Mal will manage to get into the palace and see Alina. One of the guards sneaks into the hole to secretly feed Nina. The witch realizes that the boy wants something from her, and she turns out to be right. The hunter asks for more details about how she became a Grisha. Nana refuses to eat and refuses to talk to the Punisher, saying only that witches have never wished people harm. The conduit finds a way into the palace. By sending a circus performer on sick leave, he offers Annie to take his place. Alina learns to control the sun, but so far she is far from perfect, and the old witch scolds the girl for being lazy. Out of spite, Grisha manages to create a fireball and travels to the orphanage. The day she is tested, she remembers that she was tested for her abilities after all, but the girl manages to cheat the commission by stifling her pain. At night, Alina can't sleep, so she goes to the general's living room. Looking at the map, Kirigan talks about how many people he had to bury because of the canyon, and from the man's anger, darkness thickens around him.